Operations.
Thanks, Fraser. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to get into the product and I'm going to share some of the stuff that is available now in the current version, and go through kind of some of the functionality and features that you maybe haven't seen yet, or with some suggestions for how to use them and so on. Please feel free to ask questions. Like, this can be a very interactive session. But I have 4 topics that I wanted to walk through and share with you in more detail. Those are the topics of knowledge management and how to kind of interact with that, sharing things with other people, and then delegating tasks so you can use multiple agents in parallel, and also save yourself some time and effort when you're doing things with Magic. And then finally, the automated browser, which is an assistant, a team member that has been created and that we're ready to make available to people as they need it. Before I can show you those things, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the settings, because these features do have to be activated within your Magic environment if they're not activated already. The way that you can get to all of the features that are available, even the ones that are off by default, is you can go to settings. So you can go to your profile, you can go to the settings page, you can go to about, you click on the M for Magic 5 times, and this experimental settings screen will appear. And there are a whole bunch of features here. Some of them are fully baked, and like we're really going to be putting them into the core product shortly. Others are a little more experimental. So I will put a disclaimer out there that you should maybe use some caution. As you get further down the list, they tend to be more experimental. You can see some of these you can activate and are very useful. So Start Chat is one that I recommend when we're doing setups of new users. Magic Control is another one that I recommend. Those give you the ability to do a chat as well as a task. They give you a home menu, so that can help you navigate through Magic. The 2 I'm going to be talking about are knowledge and sharing. When you activate each of these items, and all you have to do is put a check in the checkbox, then they become available. It's that simple. So they're running in the background anyway. What this is doing is giving you visibility into the features. And so knowledge, sharing, check the box, away you go. You can close the settings screen once you have activated any of these features, and you can then go straight to them. You've probably noticed as you've been using Magic that you'll see reports that Magic generates in tasks. And if I give you an example of kind of some of what those reports look like, what's the one that's this one? No, not that one. That doesn't have it. Yeah, it does have reports. So this is a useful one. It has some reports that come through. When you get a report, it comes through and tells you what the information is that Magic is documenting for you as it is creating, creating artifacts that it can use within the knowledge fabric. So those reports are visible sometimes within a conversation or a task. If they're not, they're still being recorded. And the way that you can get to them is you can go to the projects menu, you can click on knowledge fabric, and you can see your full knowledge tree. In my case, there are more than 4,200 documents that are available and that are being used actively. Every time I ask Magic to do something or I start an activity, this knowledge tree is made available and it's actually searched and indexed. And so you'll also see at times when you kick off an activity, the first thing that is listed in the response is, I'm checking to see if there's any work that's been done on this previously. That's when it's going through the knowledge base. And so that will happen.
Andrew, this is Laurel. Just a quick question. Does the knowledge that's collected extend across tasks? Just want to confirm that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly how it works. So you create one task and you do something. When you complete the task and you say, give feedback, complete the task, Magic documents everything that's happened and it then records it. And so the next time you do a task with the same teammate, or you do a task in the same folder, think of a project as being the folder, then Magic looks at that knowledge and looks at the resources that you ask it to look at, and then learns effectively from the previous state. This also means that you can stop work, you can close things out, and then you can pick up right where you left off. So all of these kind of components are being made available. They are all stored locally, and so other people don't have access to them unless you share them, but they are stored locally, they are in your own environment, and they then are used every time you interact with Magic. And you can go cross conversation, and so you can actually refer to knowledge from other things, and Magic can then go kind of incorporate stuff that it has done successfully or unsuccessfully in the past, and use that to ensure that the next thing you try and do will work better, basically. And you can look at any of this in full detail. You can review kind of all of the documentation that's available. You can navigate through, you can find like definitions of your skills, and it's all easy to use. You can export it, you can copy it, and so you can make use of it in any way you wish.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So then the second thing that is a relatively new feature, it's been made available in the last couple of releases. This is sharing. The idea behind sharing is that you're able to take the things that you are doing with Magic when you're extending capabilities, and you share those capabilities with other Magic users within your organization, or more broadly if you wish. And that means that the other Magic users can have the same capabilities that you have. So in particular, that's things like plugins or skills or team members. All you have to do to share something is select it. So you go through the list, you find the object that you want to share. Let's say I want to share my my Buffer Social plugin. I create a share link that gives me a link that is Magic specific. Once that link is generated, all I'll do is I'll copy that link and I'll transfer it. So I can email it to someone, I can share it to someone in a chat. I guess I could send a carrier pigeon if I wanted to. And then I go to installed shares. I click on the receive share button. I paste that link in and I click install share. And the recipient does this. They now have that same functionality. It will install automatically. That can be used with skills. It can be used with plugins. It can be used with conversations. The other thing that you can do with sharing is you can create sharing circles, where you can create multiple objects in a group, and you can share this entire circle with other users. And so circles can have multiple members. The idea behind this is I might be building something, Beezer might be building something, I make an update, I share that update, he makes another update, he shares it back. We're always at the same stage of development and capabilities. And so we can then expand the circle and put more stuff in it, or we can share it to more people and manage that as a group continuously. And so this is
question on that,
another
Andrew,
feature. Yeah.
You just raised an interesting point. So if you share something and then Beezer does additional work on that same plugin or file, when they share it back, does it just overwrite your local copy, like your latest? Or
yeah.
do you have to?
So there's version control built in. So as you're updating skills or as you're updating plugins, you actually can see, like, you're getting version control. So you may have some basically, it's possible that you could have some conflicts or whatever, but you can see like each of these has a version number behind it, depending on how many times I've updated it and when I've tried to share it and so on. But anyway, so that's sharing. We are using this to kind of share things as we're developing them. It's an other option on top of the marketplace. It does allow you to have a lot more control within your organization or within like-minded people, and you don't have to kind of put stuff out that's available to everybody. So there are a lot of kind of valuable use cases behind that. And then the last thing I wanted to show is, that's not gonna work. Press the right buttons. Is an example of what happens with delegation and the capability around automated browsing and what that can be useful for. So I've got a task here that I've put together. I've staged this already. I'm just going to send this off. I'm using the amplified chat agent, which is a very lightweight entry point. Amplify Chat is going to coordinate this request for me. So I said I want you to actually do a couple of things. I want you to go look at a website that I've designated because I like the style of it. I want you to review and understand the structure of that website. Then I want you to go look at a conversation that I've got going, a task that is running that has to do with documentation for our Amplify product. And I want you to take the documentation that has been generated or has been included in that other conversation and use it to build a support website. And that support website is going to be a prototype for our first kind of our official support website for our other product, Amplify. And so this is a way for me with one prompt to go basically get three things done. It's doing research because I have a target in mind. It's building after understanding like the content that it should be including. And then I've also asked it to go and test that website before I have to go look at it to make sure it works and to click through all of the different pages and ultimately get me a more finished product so that I don't have to kind of resolve any issues that could be easily addressed just by first loading the website. And so this is going to take a little bit of time to run, but you can see that MAJK's going through. It's found some teammates. It's working on a plan. It's going to delegate a task to it. Once it delegates a task, this delegated task is now created. The way delegation works is the instructions for the task are transferred to a second task. And then also there are success criteria that are defined. So the primary orchestrator says, you'll know that you've done this right when these things are true. And the delegated task will not report back that it is complete until the success criteria have been met or until there's a blocker, like if there's a problem that it needs to report back. But it means that there's essentially this kind of, we call it witnessing, but essentially there's this control in place so that the first task will actually wait until it hears back from the second task and will assume that work is being done at the appropriate time.
And in the main task, you can continue to give it other things in parallel, right? And say,
yeah,
planning and doing this, and it waits for that contributing delegation to come back to it.
Yeah, you can actually like run multiple tasks in parallel. You can kind of delegate to a few different things together. We are doing a lot more work around this kind of concept of multiple team members working in parallel. We've got some kind of, I would say, alpha releases going for extensions and features that will make this even easier. They're called task decomposition is the kind of the main feature set that we're incorporating there. That is coming soon. And so, as that becomes available, we'll share more about it. But the idea behind that is you give MAJK a brief, MAJK will then break that brief down into subtasks and will give you a plan and then go orchestrate, and it will determine the sequencing of all those tasks and which can be done in parallel, which ones are sequential, and so on. And so you can kind of review all that. So there's some pretty cool stuff coming there that isn't quite ready to demo, but it's close. So this is going to run. I do have a previous version of this that I put together just that I thought I'd share with you. So the last time I ran this was the result. MAJK built this website for me. It's a local website. It's got a bunch of information. It's well structured. It's got some learning paths included into it. And behind each of these is actual content. There are some placeholders because it couldn't get to the final content for things like videos and such, but it has gone through the documentation and the examples that I fed it and has essentially come back with what I think is a pretty well structured first try. So yeah, overall this works quite well. And is something that you can make use of. As we said, we're going to be basically sharing the automated browser on request. Let us know if you want it. Ask us in Discord or send me a message, and we'll be happy to give it to you. Any other questions on what I walked through there?
one of the things I'd encourage is you think about this, and Doug, if you spin out of this and go back to MAJK later today, or Mark, and you start to delegate, try it, right? Like sooner rather than later, delegate some tasks, take a task, create the subtask, and then incorporate the automated AI browsing as quickly as you can, because it will change. Like we always talk about the fact that you have to reframe the way you're thinking about approaching a problem, and this will completely do it again. So great.
I use this every time I'm doing any kind of a plugin with the UI. When I say what I want my plugin to do, I then also say, and by the way, I want you to use the browser and I want you to go test this. And so I want you to make sure it works before you come back to me. And that reduces a whole bunch of cycles, because oftentimes there are bugs. And so you have to go figure out what the bugs are.